Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Crochet Luna Vlogcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where I have a nice long episode for you. So grab your project and whatever else you want to grab to settle in, and let's get started. I first want to welcome any new viewers to the Vlogcast. I have seen a lot of new subscribers and I'm so happy that you are here. I also want to say thank you for subscribing, and to my returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. I gotta be honest, it's been really tough to get to this point where I'm actually recording for many reasons. And I just want to let you know right off the bat that I probably won't have any yarny content for a bit, because I really have some things that I want to say. And if you are just here for the crochet, then I, fast forward to when I start showing yarn and patterns and things like that. I would not feel good about recording this episode without talking about some of the things that are going on in the world. Everyone knows what is going on with regards to COVID-19 and how that's affecting people, and most recently with the situations going on in the United States with regards to protests and things like that, and trying to honor the memories of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and so many other people who have suffered and died under our current police system. And I have things that I want to say, and I might not say them in the right way, but always know that I am coming from a place in my heart that understands deeply and completely that Black Lives Matter. And as I said in my post, they always have, they always will, and they always do, and it's really tough to talk about it, and it's been exhausting. And I have to thank Diane, who is my boss, Lady Di Yarns, for being the absolute rock that she has been for me. And I reached out to her when I have frankly lost my marbles, and she has been a really important part for me at this time, and I really thank her for that, because it's been really difficult. It's been to the point where I haven't crocheted for 2 weeks. I have not had the desire to crochet, and that's something that I always find comfort in my crafting, and to not even be able to turn to that has been really sad. But we're gonna get to the point where I can show you some of my yarny stuff that I have. But I want to say this. I come from the immigrant experience. My family came to this country to find a better way of life. I was born in El Salvador. My family is from El Salvador. And I'm only saying this from my experience. So please understand that I am not talking for every person who came to this country as an immigrant. I am not talking about the first generation that is born from people who immigrate to the United States. This is only about my experience and what I have lived through. And what I want to say is that the immigrant experience for me is vastly different than the experience of Black people in this country, because my family came to this country voluntarily. They risked a lot. They suffered a lot, Yes, we have faced discrimination and racism, but it was still our choice to come here. And I feel like that is vastly different from the African American experience. And I'm not going to go into it because I don't feel like that's my place. There are plenty of resources. Use the Google, people. I have always said, if you can Google yarn and Google yarn shops and Google patterns, you can find the resources that you need when you have a question. So I think that I empathize and I want to be part of the solution, but I'm also human and not perfect. I will make mistakes along this journey. I actually had an incident in the last 2 weeks where I feel like it was a misstep. Though my heart was in the right place, I think I really didn't stop to process what I was doing, and I immediately saw the consequence of my action and how that was not the best thing to do. And I offered an apology, a heartfelt apology, and I am glad that the person I apologized to was gracious enough to accept it. So I make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes as well, but that doesn't mean that we stop learning and actively being anti-racist. And I think that when people say, I don't know what to do, or I don't know where to search, honestly, as a mother of young children, I feel like it's important to start with the children. And one of the things that I am going to implement this summer is anti-racism curriculum for my children. So I'm researching books that I can sit down with them and we can read and talk about these things. I want them to see videos. I want them to really understand, because though my kids are light-skinned Latinos, they are still Latinos. I have a son and I have a daughter who, you know, may be in situations where they need to understand that they need to take care of themselves, and if they're with friends, that they need to take care of friends. And so I feel strongly that taking the time to educate my children is one of those things that I can actively do to help another generation or the next generation be more aware of implicit racism, systemic racism, you know, all these things, all these terms that we talk about. I feel like it's my job, it's my duty to teach my children about this history, because as I say before, I am in this land, but I am not of this land. And so I sometimes have trouble connecting to my Americanness. You know, I came here when I was 8. I just celebrated my 48th birthday on Friday. That means I have been in the United States for 40 years. Yet I have a part of me that doesn't quite connect. And I don't think that's something that's very unusual for children who were brought to the United States. I didn't have a choice. I was 8 years old. Did I come to a better place? Yeah, I guess. I mean, the point is, I didn't have a choice, right? I was brought here because my family came here and they wanted to give me opportunities that staying in my native El Salvador, they thought would not be available to me. So this whole situation with Black Lives Matter and talking about anti-racism and talking about how people are handling themselves at this time, I feel like we are in history. We are right now living history. We will look back at the year 2020 as being such an important year for so many reasons. And I just hope that as I get older and as my children get older, that we are forging a better place for them, that we are creating a better place for them and their children. And it starts now. It starts this very minute. So I just want to say that. I just want to say that it's been difficult, but it needs to be difficult. Sometimes when things are easy or easily given, they're not appreciated. And I don't mean that in like make things easy for people of color. I don't mean that. I just mean that if you are a white person, or if you are someone who tends to not want to deal with racism, the issue of racism, it's going to be difficult, but it's okay. You will learn and you will grow and you will be that much of a better person. I want us to create a better place, not only for our children, but for the generations to come. And it's going to start with us, and it's going to start with educating ourselves and passing that knowledge on to our children. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I don't know if if I expressed myself in the right way, and I just want to say, if this is not what you're here for, I'm sorry. And like I've said before, I might not be your cup of tea, and there are plenty of other people that you can watch and align with your values. But the people that watch me and subscribe to my channel, I feel are people who think are like-minded. You know, we all believe that Black Lives Matter, and yes, there is racism in this country, and yes, we got to do better, and yes, we got to educate ourselves. And I just feel like if that is not what you believe, then I don't know what to tell you. I just can say that I am proud of my subscribers, and I am proud of how I see them behave and the efforts that they make. I'm so proud of my fellow podcasters who have struggled. I see it. I've seen that, but they're doing it. You know, they're involving themselves on social media and in their podcasts, and they are making the effort, and they're educating themselves. And I see that, and I think that is wonderful, and it's what we need to do. So that's what I wanted to say. As usual, I want to give you a health update. It's been very up and down, very, very up and down, and it's one of the reasons I have not been able to crochet as much as I want. I've had bad flare-ups in my hands. As you can see, I have this horrible nodule. My hands are finally starting to really deviate from looking like normal hands. And, you know, all I can say is that I am so grateful. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 25. At 25, I was playing tennis 6 days a week. I was playing tournaments. I was in great health. And I was lucky enough to be seen by doctors at Loma Linda Medical Center here in California. And I had a team of rheumatologists who I got to see every 4 weeks. And one of the things that they said to me was that they were going to treat my arthritis very aggressively to hopefully save my joints later in my life. And I'm so thankful for it was 2 or 3 rheumatologists that I saw like on a rotation, and it was difficult to find the cocktail that actually helped me regulate my arthritis. But when I did, I was virtually pain-free. I went back to play tennis. I got married. I had children. I really, really, really enjoyed probably the best quality of life that someone with severe rheumatoid arthritis could. I have severe rheumatoid arthritis. That means every joint in my body activates and flares up, even up here. I spent a couple of months having issues with my jaw, basically. But now, you know, when I see my hands and I see, God, they're just so whacked, you know, I'm still thankful that I have these whacked out hands, because these are the hands that help me crochet and create. And so I have to be thankful for what I can do. But it's been tough. My medication that I was on for 13 years stopped working. And I've been on a horrible roller coaster of trying to get a medication that works to the same level that Remicade is, which was the medication I was on, worked for so long. I am now probably in the best, I'm probably now on the best cocktail that I've been in about 5 years. So even though I'm still flaring up and I'm having issues, it's not as severe as it has been. I've been on Xeljanz actually for about, I want to say, about a year or so, maybe 2. But anyway, the lack of sleep is still there. I'm still not sleeping well. I'm not in a good sleep schedule, and I know that affects my arthritis. So what can I say? But I turned 48 on Friday. My birthday was June 5th, and I had a lovely day. And I'm not a big person to celebrate birthdays, never have been. And I just had a nice chill day, which is usually what I'm looking for in a birthday celebration. So after that, let's see, kids have been out of school. And as I said before, this coming Monday, I don't know if you're going to see this episode on Monday or Tuesday, but this week I am starting summer curriculum for my children. And the distance learning was good, but they still were not able to really learn in the same way as in the classroom. So we're a little behind, and we need to be ready for the fall. So yeah, that should be fun, right? Anyway, so a little bit of admin, the Wizarding Mal 2020 that I co-host with Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Has closed for the second quarter. I am so happy to see those socks in that chatter thread on Ravelry. There's a pair of socks that are Tunisian crochet socks, and I think they look fabulous. And then Tamara from Crafty Escapism has some beautiful socks on that thread. You should check them out. You'll see a lot of the same people participate month after month, and I love it. If you have questions, if you have been wanting to try to crochet socks, that is definitely the thread that you want to go to, because there are some seasoned crochet sock makers in that thread. But I have one announcement to make, and that is that the winner from the first quarter, who was Maggles 42389, I will put it down here, has not contacted me for to claim her prize for the first quarter. So Maggles 42389, if I do not hear from you in 7 days, 1 week. 1 week from when this podcast airs, I will draw another winner, and I will announce it in the next podcast that I record. But for the second quarter, my winner is Mad Ninja Hooker. And what prize are you gonna get, Mad Ninja Hooker? Let's see. You guys, I have an Amazon box filled to the brim with stuff that I want to show you. So give me 1 minute. Mad Ninja Hooker, you are going to get this beautiful project bag that used the fortune cookie fabric from my fortune cookie cal that I ran a couple years ago. I have this awesome bag, and it's going to come with a beautiful hank of Mitchell's Creations. This is Tara yarn, and this colorway, this is one of her Harry Potter colorways that she dyed a while ago, and this is called Put Away Those Fangs, because she did an herbology series, and so there's a plant in Harry Potter, I guess, that has teeth. So this is the colorway that you are going to receive. This beautiful base is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this should be great for making socks. You're also going to get my new sock project pin, which is right here. And you're going to get a couple sock stitch markers that were made by Jessie, who is from Me to Yarn. She made these for one of our sock kits, and I have some extras, and I'll send those to you. These are super cute. So contact me, Mad Ninja Hooker, I love your name, and I will get this prize out to you. Now the light is fading, and so I think I'm going to have to turn on some lights, which I don't really want to, but let's see how it goes. I'm back. We have lights. I don't know that I like these lights, though. I don't know, you guys. I think I look better with the kind of dark lights that hide all the imperfections. Okay, so the Dodgy Bag Mal that I co-host every year with Allie of Little Drops of Wonderful is an amazing mal. I love, love, love to see all of the beautiful bags people have made. And I have some winners to announce. So I have one grand prize winner, and I have two other ones that I want to announce that will get digital files. So the grand prize winner is TNT Crochet Hookers, and I will put that here. And she made some really nice bags. I am going to send you this bag from my shop. Actually, this bag never made it to my shop, I'll be honest with you. I never posted it. But you're going to get this beautiful donut bag that's made out of a beautiful fleece fabric. The inside is this really pretty blue color. And you're going to get one skein of the Knit by Numbers 4-ply yarn by John Arbin in this color, because I thought this and this color looked really pretty. And I'll have you know, this came from the UK. When I went to my trip, when I went on my trip to Yarndale, I picked a bunch of John Arbin yarn. So this is directly from the UK. And the color is really, really pretty. That's very, very true to the color. You're also going to get a Dodgy Bag button. I made these for the mal. And I want to say that the purchases of this button, which I've been keeping track of, will go directly to Black Lives Matter. And so whoever purchases that button from now until I run out of buttons, all purchases will go to this organization. They have a chapter here in San Diego, but I couldn't find really. I found a Facebook page, and I found that the national organization had a donate page to it. They have a lot of really good resources and articles. Like they were highlighting Breonna Taylor. Her birthday is the same birthday as mine, June 5th. So for those of you who don't know, I ran a little fundraiser this weekend, which is June 5th through the 7th. Anybody who purchased my La Lucha pattern off of Ravelry or Etsy, I am donating that to the Breonna Taylor GoFundMe. And like I said, there is a lot of good information on the Black Lives Matter website if you wanted to check that out. Dodgy Bag Mal pin sales will go to the National Black Lives Matter organization. So, but yes, you will get this, and you'll get the yarn, and you'll get a pin, and probably a couple more goodies that I don't have on here. So let me know. Contact me, because if you don't contact me, then the prize will go to someone else. But this prize is going to TNT crochet hookers. So what I need for you is to either email me or you can send me a direct message on Instagram. I am Crochet Luna on all platforms. I am Crochet Luna on Instagram and Ravelry and Facebook, and my email address is down below in the description box so that you can find it there. Lots of ways to contact me. Please contact me so I can put this in the mail for you. So then I always want to give people things, but I will be completely honest with you. The price of shipping is through the roof. And a lot of my shipping expense is paid for by the sales of my Etsy shop. So if you've ever bought a pin from my Etsy shop, you are helping me to fund this podcast. I use it to buy, yarn that I give away, or, anything that I give away. I usually have used the funds from the Etsy shop. So I thank you for that. But anyway, I have two people that I will like to gift them a Ravelry pattern up to $10, and also send them a digital bag pattern. And I chose the Stocky Sock Bag by Sandra of the Cherry Heart podcast. She's got this beautiful bag. And actually, I'm going to get my my bag that is from this pattern that I've shown you the pattern, which is this pattern right here. And it's a Stocky Sock Bag. And then this is the beautiful bag that Sandra sent to me. I think it was like 2 years ago. Shortly after she had her visit here to California, she sent me this beautiful bag so that you can see the size of it. And then I want to share the one Allie sent to me. This is the one that Allie sent to me, and she sent me this cool Frida Kahlo sticker, and then I stuck one of my buttons that says Viva la Vida Crochet. And actually, this button is not on sale on Etsy. I just got a reorder of buttons, and this is one of the ones I reordered. So this one should be up this week. But yes, Allie made me this one, and then look at the fabric inside. It's little clouds. This is such a happy bag. I love this bag. So this is Allie's bag, and this is the pattern. This is the bag that you'll get when you follow her pattern, which is very detailed. It's got a lot of detail. I'm not going to show you any of it because this is a paid pattern. And so who's going to get this, right? I have two people. One is Cranberry Crossing. Cranberry Crossing, I'll put your name down here. And then Nicola Knits. So Nicola Knits and Cranberry Crossing, contact me, and you can choose one pattern from Ravelry up to $10. And then I will also send you a copy of this pattern, okay? So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who participated in the Dodgy Bag Mal 2020. I want to thank anybody who purchased the button. I really wanted to update the Dodgy Bag button, and then I couldn't stop, and I made buttons for all the Mals and cows and and alongs that I'm participating in this year. So I just have a lot of fun designing those buttons. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And I'm pretty sure we will be doing the Dodgy Bag Mal 2021. So get your stuff ready, and I'll see you next year, right? Summer of Romance 2020. It's almost upon us, and I am so excited, like I am every summer, for this because it's open to crochet and knitting. It's open to both. And I co-host this with the lovely Clarissa Beth. Hi, Clarissa Beth from Crochet Cakes. And she and I have been doing, this will be our 3rd year hosting this Mal. Along. The 3rd year hosting this along. And are you ready for the theme? Because we have a theme. Because, you know, you got to have a theme, right? Our theme this summer is timeless romances. So, timeless romances is your theme for Summer of Romance 2020. This is the hashtag that you can use to post your projects on Instagram. I will have a thread on my Ravelry. I don't know if I'll host the Chatter or the FO thread. Just pop in. I'm sure we'll get it sorted out by the time we begin. It's going to run June 13th through August 1st. So, on June 13th, you will see that there is a thread on my Ravelry page and on my Ravelry group. And then you can see whether I'm hosting the Chatter or the FO thread. And then Clarissa Beth, will have either the Chatter or the FO thread on her Ravelry group. So just pop in there, and I hope you guys will join us. I don't know if I'm going to go. I have 2 couples that I'm interested in maybe making something out of, out of the idea. So I'm thinking to do either Romeo and Juliet, which I know is a very classic, timeless romance, and never mind that the romance was doomed. Never mind that. Don't focus on that. But, you know, as soon as I said timeless romance, that's the first couple that kind of popped into my head. Or I'm thinking about doing Clarence and Alabama from True Romance, because I love that movie, and I love their romance and how they come about. So I'm not sure which of those 2 I'm going to do, but it's going to either be Romeo and Juliet or True Romance, Clarence and Alabama. So, and that's the fun part about this Cow, is that you get to explore all of these different things. And so, that begins, like I said, on June 13th, which is just around the corner. And I look forward to seeing some of your projects for this summer's Cow. Also, as I was saying, I've been making buttons for all the alongs, and the Summer of Romance has its own button, which is 2 little foxes. I don't know if you can see it. 2 little foxes kissing, and it says Summer of Romance, hashtag SRCAL 2020, Crochet Cakes and Crochet Luna. I also want to share that I am excited about another cow that I will be hosting in August, and this is due to a video I saw on the Kristy Glass channel. During her Crochet in May series, she had this lady Stacy of it's called SAC is the organization, and SAC stands for Supporting a Community with Kindness. And so what SAC does is they create soap sacks. She worked at a food pantry, and she noticed that when people were coming to the food pantry, they were also looking for toiletries, and they didn't have any of that. So the soap sacks that she collects can either have a bar of soap in them, or they come without a soap, and she gets donations of soap that she can put in the sacks, and then she sends them out and gives them out to different organizations. I will read to you from her website. It is, like I said, the website is, I think it's just soapsack.com. So before I do that, I want to show you the tote that I purchased. I purchased this tote. And I am keeping all of my cotton yarn in here that I'm working on, God, the words. I had a problem with words last podcast, didn't I? I'm working to use the cotton yarn in this bag to make some soap sacks as I lose all the papers. Oh. So I want to read a little bit from her website so that you get an idea of what the organization is about. And it says Stacy Weiner, who is the lady who started this organization, founder of SAC, discovered through volunteering at food pantries that there was a lack of essential toiletries available. One key reason is you are not able to use government subsidies to purchase them. When it comes to deciding on whether to eat versus buy soap and shampoo, the choice becomes obvious. So SAC, S-A-C-K, was created to help fill this need. The number of volunteers in the SAC community has grown exponentially over the past 2 years, with an estimated 55,000 plus soap sacks that have been distributed. So as you can see, this is a big movement that's happened across the country, because she donates them to women's shelters and all kinds of different organizations that help people in the community that are underserved. So this is the pattern. And okay, so then you go to the website and there's free patterns. There's free patterns for knitting and there's free patterns for crocheting. I use a very simple pattern that she has on the website. And let me tell you, you can bust these out so quickly. I have 3 that I've made. I've made this one and this one. And I made this one right here. I made these 3 in one sitting. Like, literally, it took me no time. And I'm going to fill these up and I'm going to send them to them. What my hope is that if you want to participate in this crochet along, knit along, because you can knit them, is that all the soap sacks will be sent to me, and then I will put a big box together and send it off to Stacy. If you follow her on Instagram, and I believe it's Soap Sack on Instagram, but I'll put the Instagram name here, and I will also put the link down below. You can see that she often does unboxing of the soap sacks that she gets. And if you follow the Instagram account, she talks a lot about what's, where she's donating and the things that she's doing. So yeah, actually this is my only FO for the episode are these 3 soap sacks, and I made them out of Dishy cotton from Knit Picks. This is what I use. Actually did not use the brown one. I just thought it was too dark. It didn't make me happy. I'll use it for something else, but I have this orange one that I bought. I always buy brown and I never use it because I'm like, oh, it's brown. But you know what? Brown, when you pair it up with other colors, can be a very nice color. Just saying. So yeah, this is the purple one from Knit Picks. This is 190 yards per 100 grams. And I remember this was a really good price on these on the Knit Picks website. And then I have this kind of like beigey one that I bought. So mainly these 3 colors is what I've worked with, and I will probably just keep making them because they're so easy to make. They really are. And you also can download a series of tags that you can cut out and put attached to each of the soap sacks so that people get them. It says, this soap sack was made with love by a sack volunteer. It can be used as a washcloth or to store your soap. It is made from cotton yarn. It is nice and soft. So she's got this tag, and then she's got one in Spanish, which I think is great. There's one for that specifically says that the soap sack was crocheted. And there is a really cute one back here. This one right here. This is also, these are all free download labels that you can use. So this cal, because knitters, you can also enter your knitted soap sack. It's going to run from August 15th through September 26th. So September 26th, the cal will end, but I'm going to give you 2 weeks to send me your stuff, and then I will put that package together and I will send it off to the organization. So I hope that you guys will participate. You can make it with cotton scraps. If you have some cotton scraps, you can make this, you can make a soap sack. You do not have to send me soap with it if you don't want to. If you want to send the soap, send the soap. If you don't, you don't have to. But yeah, I was really touched when I saw the episode, and I will link Kristy's episode interview down below. I was really, when I was watching, I was like, you know what? I want to help out with that. I really want to help out with that. It's simple. And I don't know, it just touched me, and it really spoke to me. This concept of gifting people toiletries, you know, soap with a little soap sack really touched me. So that's going to be our August Mal, which will come right after Summer of Romance. So Summer of Romance will run June 13th through August 1st. So you got a nice long time to make something. And I'm really excited to see what everybody makes. Next, I want to talk about some whips that I have. And as I said at the beginning of the episode, I just have not wanted to crochet anything. And I have been working on my Magdalene socks by Vicki Brown. This is the pattern right here. And I showed you guys I had completed the leg part on both of the socks, and unfortunately I had to frog both of those, and I'm back in Cuff City because I don't know, I did do a swatch, people. I did do a swatch. Okay, I did a swatch. But as I'm crocheting them, and again, so it's one of my frustrations is that my tension is just so off from day to day. But at time, you know, I tried on the sock, it was just too big. So the heel that I tried to crochet on the sock was just too big. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back and I'm going to just put less stitches around so that hopefully this will fit. So I removed, gosh, I want to say I removed at least, I went from the size medium. So let's see, I went from, yeah, I removed 8 stitches on this leg part. And I hope that that means that it will fit better when it comes to the heel. Because I didn't mind that it was slouchy. Like, I kind of liked that it was slouchy on the leg. But I didn't realize that the fact that it was slouchy meant that the heel also was going to be way too big. So I am back at the cuffs of my Magdalene socks. And I'm not giving up. The yarn is too beautiful to give up on this project. Look at this. This is my yarn ball. It's looking a little ragged. They're both looking a little ragged, but, and look, they match my Wizarding Mal button that I created for Hannah and for our Wizarding Cow. These are also on sale in my Etsy shop, and I'm really excited. It's two little owls, and it's living in my beautiful Hohi bag that is dirty. Look at that dirt right there. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's meant to be used. It's meant to get dirty. I don't care. I love this bag. Like, I like to smell it. It smells good. I like the weight of it. I like everything about this bag. This was my gift to myself for working so hard at DKL and Stitches West. So, yes, this is my Dodgy Bag. Not my Dodgy Bag. My Wizarding Mal sock bag. This is where all my socks will live this year. Then we're going to move on to my next whip that I have, and that is my Acre Sweater from Pom Pom magazine. I'm really excited. I already purchased the next issue because they have crochet patterns in there, and they have 4, and I know one's a scrunchie, which really a scrunchie, but hey, maybe I'll make the scrunchie. If I show up on the next podcast with some weird side 80s thing, because look at my hair, you guys, it's just a mess. It's a hot mess. If you see me or up here with some scrunchie, you'll know where that came from. Anyway, this is the beautiful Acre Sweater. This is a beautiful publication. You know what you get a book and you smell it? Well, I don't know. Maybe some people don't smell their books. I smell my books. You smell it and you're just like, oh, it smells like good paper. This smells like good paper. So the Acre Sweater, I read the little blurb on it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So this is a pattern by Judith Brand, and I'm just going to read 1 or 2 sentences because, you know, it's in here, but this is a paid publication. But she says, Acre was inspired by the feeling of returning home after a long time away. And it says, whenever Judith returns to her native Austria, it is the view from the plain of tidy adjoining fields below that heralds the emotional rush of coming home. As soon as I read that, it clicked, because I too have seen, you know, when I come home on the airplane and you see those, you know, those little divisions, right, of green that you see from the air. When I read those sentences, I'm like, yeah, that really makes sense. I really see that in this pattern. My Acre Sweater is very, very behind. Again, I was at a point in my Acre Sweater that when I looked at it, it didn't look right. And thank God for the people who posted pictures of their Acre Sweater progress, because it was from those pictures that I was able to see that I was not doing something right. And I had to tear back my Acre to row 8 and start over again. So this is what I have now. It's a lot. I mean, it is and it isn't, but I'm really, really happy that I tore back, that I frog back to that row, because one of the things that I have is variegated yarn in this section, okay, and I'm actually alternating skeins, because the variegated yarn is extremely different from skein to skein. I'm not even joking. It's very different. So I felt like if I alternated skeins, it would look more cohesive instead of having like a bunch of yellow down here and a bunch of like not so much yellow up here. So that's one of the really positive things about having to redo this section. And I also want to take a minute to say, I know some people have been frustrated by the pattern. And I understand that. I actually wrote, I don't have it with me here to show you, I rewrote the pattern myself so that I could understand it. And I know that some people have gotten frustrated with the way it's written, but if you look at the publication, you can't have a 15-page crochet pattern in a publication this size. So they have to condense the wording. Now, do they condense the wording in the way that I've condensed the wording? Maybe not, but I'm still able to follow the pattern. And I feel like every pattern, and I said this when I talked to Kristy Glass in the video that we did, that I feel like every pattern is a journey. I don't know of any crochet project that I've started where I haven't had to frog parts of it because I have misread a step or I didn't pay attention. So I don't mind having to put the work into the project. I really don't. I'm not one that needs instant gratification out of every crochet project. I'm more about the process and the end product. And when you know you're working with fingering weight yarn and you're trying to make a sweater out of fingering weight yarn, it's going to take a while. It's going to take, it's going to go beyond the scope of this cowl, right? But I will leave, what I've decided is I'm going to leave the Ravelry thread open probably until September, October, for most of the year, because as long as I keep putting a row or two on this sweater and I'm making progress, I'm hoping that you guys who have started this sweater will also continue to work on it. And we can talk about it and chat about it in the Ravelry thread. So I'm not going to close that thread. So I just want to, that's one of the things I really wanted to talk about, is that don't get frustrated. Don't get bummed out. I might be one of those rare birds that I like tedious crochet. I really like repetitive crochet. It doesn't bother me at all. And I also don't mind frogging mistakes when I know it is definitely going to impact the end product. If I'm going to put the hours in to crochet this sweater, I definitely want it to be as right as possible. So I applaud the people who have already there's a couple of people who have finished a sweater. I applaud you for doing that, because I know that was a lot of time. And like I said, I wrote the pattern so it makes sense for me and for me to keep track of things in the way that I like to keep track of things. But I honestly do that for every pattern. There is no pattern that I have that doesn't have writing on it, because I like to keep track of rows, you know, and I mark them up and I make notes. I really, really work my patterns, and so I don't mind it. Now, I know some people do, and some people have expectations of the way a pattern should be written, especially when you're paying a lot of money for it. And I absolutely agree with you. I've paid good money for really badly written patterns. This pattern is not badly written, but it does take a certain level of knowledge of crochet to be able to figure your way around the pattern, figure your way around the language of how it's written. And I don't recommend it as a beginning pattern. Although the stitch is it's the same stitch really throughout the whole pattern. It doesn't really change. But yeah, just having to dissect the pattern does take some previous knowledge, and I feel like you will learn. Like, I feel like I'm learning. I'm never going to stop learning about crochet, right? I'm never going to stop wanting to better my skills, or, excuse me, I'm never going to want to stop bettering my skills and getting more proficient, or getting better at reading patterns, getting better at crocheting different stitches. I'm never going to get off that ride, because I love crochet, and I love the craft, and I love how it's being modernized. I love so much about it that I'm a proud crocheter, and I will continue to explore patterns that might not be necessarily what I'm comfortable doing, you know, and I don't mind that. I don't mind being taken out of my comfort zone. So that's the Acre Cow by Judith Brand in the winter issue of Pom Pom magazine. Like I said, and all the yarn that I'm using is from Lady Dye Yarns, and this variegated yarn is just beautiful. But I am actually having to carry 1, 2, 3, 4 strands of yarn at the same time. I came up with this little system of having the jars, very inexpensive jars. I cut a hole, and then I put a big button and I thread my yarn through it. And what I like about that is that it keeps the yarn clean, and I'm basically kind of playing musical yarn jars. Try saying that real quick. And I am playing musical yarn jars when I'm switching from row to row, but it makes it very, very easy. I really like this. It's still in the place where it lives on my desk. I don't really take this anywhere because it's just too much yarn to deal with. And yeah, that's my Acre Sweater. My next whip is one that I am really excited about too, and it is from the lovely, lovely Cecilia Lozada. She is Mama DIY, and she has some of the most colorful patterns that I've ever seen. And I'm working, this is one of her latest shawls. It's called the Calandula shawl, which is actually, I think, Spanish for marigold. This is Cecilia. She models all of her patterns. It is a beautiful shawl, and it has like a modified pineapple border is what she says on her pattern. But here you go. You can see it there. Let me see if I can find a picture where you see the... It's a big shawl. It really is. You can see it right there. See this beautiful like modified pineapple border, and the little orange lines that you see there are actually a puff stitch. So I went stash striping because I'm looking to have a very neutral like I'm looking for neutral, very toned down colors. And I found some Knit Picks of Brava Sport, and it's a Lion Brand Woolies yarn. So I chose this neutral color and this gray color. And then for the Knit Picks Brava, I chose this color. So the shawl is basically these 3 colors. And so far it looks, it's a little bit of a hot mess, but we'll go with it. It looks like this. I am loving working on this shawl. It has textures. It's got these baubles. It's got this beautiful texture, very subtle, but very nice. It is a crescent shawl, and it's going to have that beautiful pineapple border. So this is what I have so far. The pattern is nice. Look at halfway through the row. And I stopped because I literally was falling asleep on the couch. I could not even keep my eyes open. So halfway through the row, this is where I fell asleep. So this is my work in progress. It's called the Calandula shawl, and it is by Cecilia Lozada. And that is living in one of my dodgy bags. This is one of the first bags that I ever made. It's got this cool, like, the musical notes, and then it's got these guitars on here. I really like this bag. I like the size of it. It's perfect for, you know, big crochet patterns. And I will get back to making bags. I'll tell you this. I bought some fabric that is just so cute. I'll show it to you. But I have had requests for more bags, and I will do my hardest this summer to build up a little inventory of bags that I can post in my Etsy shop. You know, it's time, you guys. It's really time consuming to sew, especially for someone like me who is not super proficient at it. Moving on to Yarnopolis, that is my acquisition segment. This is where I show you the stuff that I have received in the mail, and I have received some really cool stuff that I'm excited to share with you. I have done a little shopping. It was my birthday, and so I bought a couple things that I want to show you that I got for me for my birthday. And I'm going to start with this Frida Kahlo hook. You guys, is this not the cutest thing ever? Look at her. It's got her little scarf. It's got these cute little flowers and her cute little face. So this I found in an Etsy shop, and her name is Handmade Mom is who made this hook. Now, I think this is a Boyd crochet hook, and I don't mind whether it's Boyd or Susan Bates. I know people are very, very particular about that stuff. I have a range of hooks that I use, and so when I saw that she had this particular hook, which is a 5mm hook, she puts the letter right there. You can see it's an H hook. I said I want it. So this is my first acquisition, my little Frida. Then I popped over to one of my favorite hook makers, which is Polymer Clay Shed. I have probably bought most of my polymer clay hooks from her, and I could not resist this adorable flamingo hook. Look how cute that is. Pineapples and flamingos. This camera is horrible at focusing. So I bought this one, and what's funny is that I had already created a button with a flamingo with almost the same color scheme, and it's called, this is my Maker of Beautiful Things button. This is available in the shop, but look at how perfect these go together. I love it. So this is actually an Amore hook that she used to make this polymer clay hook. Her hooks are super smooth. There is not a dent. They're perfection. And so she also puts she stamps them right there. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's an E there. So she stamps the hook so that you know what you're getting. One of my things about polymer clay hooks that's like a pet peeve, and actually do not buy it if I see a polymer clay hook where the shaft is too short. And as you can see, both of these have enough shaft there so that you can crochet comfortably. They're both on the thin side, which is okay. But even if I don't use this hook, I'm so happy to look at her. She puts a smile on my face. She's got earrings and red lipstick. She's just the cutest thing ever. So those are my two hooks. Then, do you see these? See these? You've been seeing them all episode long. These are my crochet earrings by Jamie, who is Parlez-Vous Crochet. And I met Jamie last year when we went to Stitches SoCal. She is an amazing maker. Of course, I will list Jamie's Etsy shop down below. I would urge you to visit her. She makes really, really pretty crochet earrings. I saw these on an Instagram post, and they reminded me of avocados. And I said, it had a little, I think the border was different. And I said, can you just make these so that they look like avocados? Because I really want to wear them. And she custom made these for me. She also sells kits. So if you wanted to make your own crochet earrings, she has a kit on Etsy that you can, buy and make your own earrings. But she has a lot of beautiful hoops. I have another pair of hoop earrings of hers that I was looking for to show you today, and I have no idea where I put them, so I gotta find them. That is Jamie from Parlez-Vous Crochet. She made my beautiful earrings. And I like them because they don't weigh a lot, and so they're very comfortable to wear. Next, I have yarn. I do have some yarn. It's from Yarn Baby. This is her logo. And I saw this colorway on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I have to get it. I really was not looking to buy yarn, but this colorway is called Puppeteer. And it is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. Bam. Do you see this? Do you see this colorway? It was just singing to me. It was like, Claudia, you must take me home. And I got to. I don't know what I'm going to make with these. I'm so tempted to make another My Boy Lollipop. So tempted. But I bought these. Oh, I just love, love, love. Now, I've spoken about Yarn Baby in the past because she is one of the few shops that will swatch her colorways as crochet, like a crochet and a knit swatch, so that you can see how these patterns will look in crochet, which I think is a fabulous idea. I know there are a couple of other dyers who do that, but she was the first person that I found that did that. So these are my 2 yarny purchases. I have more yarny purchases. I don't know why I'm saying these are my, like that's the only yarn that I bought. Then I got an idea for a design, and I went to Knit Picks, and I found these cute little cotton acrylic blend 50-gram balls. They are the comfy worsted weight yarns available through Knit Picks, so are very, very reasonably priced. And because I'm thinking about the design having lots of colors, I chose these to try it out, and they're only 50-gram balls. And let's see, how many yards in 50 grams? They have, did I tell you guys I lost my glasses? You know, my fabulous glasses that I wore for like one episode, and I lost them. So I went, side note, it's a complete side note, I went to my eye exam place that also sells glasses, and I had to purchase 2 more frames. So I'm waiting for this to come in, but I have had such bad headaches because I use progressives, and so I need something for nearsightedness, and I need something for the computer, and then I need something for farsightedness because I'm basically blind. So yeah, I've lost my glasses, so give me a minute. These are 109 yards for 50 grams. So that was my other yarny purchase, which came pretty quickly, which I was really happy with the delivery from Knit Picks. I didn't get a notice that says, hey, we're closed for COVID. I don't know when you're going to get your stuff, but then when you get it, you'll get it. I shouldn't say that. They were really nice about it the last time. So I'm a big Knit Picks fan, so they're good. It's all good. All right, so I wanted to show you, because I am on a little bit of a flamingo kick. I went to Joann's, because the Joann's opened up in my area. And I walked in there, you guys, it was like somebody had come in and bought all of the cotton bolts off the racks at Joann's. There was, usually Joann's, you got rows and rows and rows of cotton. I walked in and there was like this much cotton, a ton of fleece, so little cotton. And I said to the lady, what happened? And I guess during the shutdown, they still were allowed to have customers in the store, but they could only have so many customers. And everybody came in and bought the quilting cotton for mask making. And she said that because of COVID, the warehouses in China where they get their stuff from were shut down, and they couldn't get anything delivered, and then they were not making anything. So most of the stuff that I got is fleece, but I don't mind because I really enjoy my fleece project bags that I have. This is, for example, this project bag is a fleece project bag. I've had some from several years. They hold up well. I don't mind. And it was such a good price, you guys, such a good price. Because I'm on a big flamingo kick, I bought this fabric. And I want to make myself a bag so I can put my flamingo button and use my flamingo crochet hook with it. Such a dork. I make no apologies for that. And then who could walk away from flying piggies? Who? Tell me. I couldn't. It's so cute. Look at these little flying piggies. Again, this is flannel fabric. And then I found these adorable kittens. I found this kitten fabric. I thought that was really cute. So I'm hopefully when I have a quiet moment in the summer, I will be making some bags. This is actually cotton. So this is actually the only cotton fabric that I bought. And it's got the fox, sweet little fox, and it's got this beautiful fawn. So I bought a lot of this because I want to make my daughter a shirt. I want to try and sew a shirt for her. And I bought a pattern that has like tops and bottoms. So I'm going to give that a chance. I also bought some linen because I want to make some pants. So side note, I have decided that I am not buying any new clothes. I have plenty of clothes. This shutdown has shown me that there was an excess of clothes in my house for everybody, and that's why, you know, we have these mountains of fabric, mountains of laundry to do, and we have managed to, you know, go all these months with what we have, you know, and there's no reason to keep adding to what we have. We just need to use what we have. And I'm doing a big clear out of our closets. And so what I want to move to is trying to find pieces that I can sew myself, that I like, and that will serve me for many years to come. I bought this beautiful linen, you guys. I could not leave it. And I'm hoping to make a pair of pants out of this beautiful linen. This is 100% linen. This was not cheap. This was $21 a yard, and I think I did have a 40% off, I think. So I didn't pay full price, but your regular price for a yard of linen, 100% linen, was $21 a yard. So we shall see if I come through, and you will definitely go on that sewing journey with me. I will share any progress I make on any sewn garments. Moving on to Pattern Palooza. I do have Pattern Palooza for this episode, you guys, and I'm excited about it. I am going to show you patterns. Most of these are paid patterns. I think all of these are paid patterns, but I just want to say that I don't mind paying to support other designers who are putting forth the effort to get these patterns out to us. And the first pattern I had to buy because I am a Gemini. My birthday is June 5th. And so we'll start Pattern Palooza off with Gemini Reborn by Kalisha Ryan. She is the Dirtani, and she's also the host of the Quirky Monday podcast. I'm really looking forward to picking out yarn for this pattern. I'm really looking forward to crocheting this pattern, and I love the way it's such a different shape. I really like the way that looks. So I have this as one of the possible options for Summer of Romance. I also have a top in mind for Summer of Romance, which is I am going to butcher this name, Doughnut top. This is by Hook of Love, and I believe you can find this pattern for free on her blog, but I decided to pay for it. One, because I want to support the designer, and two, because I don't want to deal with the ads on blogs, and so I'd rather pay for a copy of the pattern. It is a beautiful top. I love this top. Now, this next top, I'm excited to crochet. It is called the Easy Cameo Top by Lee Sartori, which is Coco Crochet Lee. It's this, I believe it's all granny stitch. It's this really cute granny pattern. And I have the yarn for this already, which would be the yarn that I should have used for my Blurred Lines sweater from Summer of Romance 2 years ago. But I have plenty of that yarn, so I'm thinking that yarn would work really well with this pattern. This next pattern, am I going too fast? Am I going too fast? I should slow down. Okay. This next pattern, I love. I will make this. This will happen. It's called the Darling Crochet Top, and it's by Keisha Allen or Designs by Key. And look at her rock this pattern. I mean, look at her rock this pattern in this photo. And look at the stitches in, I mean, I love the V-neck. Usually when you see a pattern like this, it's a boat neck. It's square because it's simple. You make the square, you attach it to the sides, and you're done. But this has a V-neck, and I love that. And she's got boobage, like I have boobage, so I know it's going to look good. Because look at that. It fits her really nice. So this is definitely going on my to-do list. It's the Darling Crochet Top. And I believe this, it's either this one or the other one that is a free, you can access it for free on her blog, but I decided to pay for it so that I wouldn't have to deal with ads. And I just like to print a copy of my patterns. The next pattern I have for you is by one of my dear friends. I really consider him a dear friend, and even though we only see each other probably once a year at shows, I have followed his journey since the beginning, and that's Waylon Stark of the Quo podcast. He has become an amazing designer, very avant-garde. I feel like he's a real artist in the crochet world, and he put out this unisex sweater that is graded all the way up to 5X, and it's called Groovy. So this is Groovy by Waylon Stark. Notice the V-neck. Again, I love a V-neck. A V-neck makes me happy. This is a V-neck. It looks like it is an easy construction. Let me see. Let me take a look real quick and see if there's another picture here. It might just be done in a couple pieces and some sleeves. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I just love that way he looks in this picture. So that's Groovy by Waylon Stark of the Quo podcast. I don't know that he's podcasting too much these days. He's very busy. And then I have a knitting pattern for all you knitters who watch the podcast. And this pattern I'm really happy to share with you is by Elsie, and she is from the iGaia podcast. And the reason Elsie is a special person to me is because she lives in El Salvador, and she is a knitter living in El Salvador. And she has, I believe, 3 designs on Ravelry, 2 knitting and 1 crochet. Her latest knitted pattern is called the Atenea Midnight Top. And this is Elsie actually modeling it. And this is the knitted top that she designed. It was really cute. If you see, there's a close-up here of the lace section down here, which is, it's way beyond my skill, but I think it's really pretty. I think she did a really beautiful job. And so Elsie is someone that I highly recommend you watch her podcast, especially if you're a knitter. She also crochets. She crochets and she knits, and she does other crafts. But she's doing what I wanted to do for so long, which is to be able to podcast in English and in Spanish. But I have just not been able to be consistent with that. I have 1 episode in Spanish, and that's it. But Elsie puts out her episodes in English and in Spanish, and she talks about situations going on in her life and about situations in El Salvador, and she is podcasting from El Salvador. So I urge you to check out her podcast, give her a subscribe, follow her, And if you are a knitter looking for a nice summer top, this looks like a very cute top. And I also wanted to shout out some other podcasts. So moving on to podcast shout outs, which is not something I normally do, but I do have a little bit of a list of podcasts because I went looking. I feel like I had seen every podcast under the sun, but I wanted to give a shout out to Sammy, who is the Littlest Stitch, and I will put links to everyone's podcast down below. And Sammy is a sweet lady who lives in Australia. She makes bags and she crochets, so she's got a podcast on YouTube, and I just would like to support other people who are putting forth the effort of putting content on YouTube for us crocheters. There's also Cecilia Lozada, who is, I said before, Mama Do It Yourself. She podcasts mostly in Spanish. She does have some English versions. She has a great interview in her last English podcast with Lewis of Brooklyn Boy Knits. If you want to check that out, definitely do so. She was also interviewed by Kristy Glass for Crochet in May. And man, I will link that video because what she shows, some of the shawls are just breathtaking. And I will talk about something that I kind of really connected with in my next podcast when it comes to that. The next podcast I want to recommend to you is Las Knitting Amigas, which is the podcast that is hosted by Hoki Locatelli and her friend Veronica. They do a split screen thing where I think they're both in different countries, but I really enjoy listening to her Spanish podcast. I also follow her in Hoki's Journal. I also watch the English version of her podcast, and she has great content on both. But I know a lot of people follow her Hoki's Journal, but if you are a Spanish speaker, I would definitely recommend her Spanish podcast. The next and final podcast I want to recommend to you is my friend Karen from Katie Gecko Knits. Karen and I have become friends throughout the years. I think we're going into our second year of having connected through Instagram, really. I think it was. She put a call out for Knit in Public Day last year. So maybe it's the year before. I'm not sure. Anyway, I love Karen. She's wonderful. Her podcast is she's an amazing, amazing knitter, you guys. And she has become a crocheter. And if you can see this crown right here, she crocheted my crochet crown. This is the crown that Karen made for me. It's absolutely beautiful. And she's done an Encanto, which is my crochet pattern, my first crochet pattern. She's done a Ziggy Interrupted, I believe. So she's definitely getting into the crochet groove. She gifted me these masks that my family and I use, and I love how she put these together. Basically, you just get a shoelace that's like 48 inches long, and then you can, you can weave it around. Introduce it to two different points right here, and when you put it on, they just fit really well. And she made this one and this one, and then these two I'm just waiting to get the shoelaces for, but I love this one. This is so pretty. This one, my son is going to get this one. He's excited about the jalapenos. And then I have this other one, and then another polka dotted one. So I'm really grateful to Karen because I had plans to make masks, and I have to service my sewing machine too because my dog ate my cord. Yeah, she ate my cord for my pedal, so I can't use my sewing machine. And then it was doing something weird last time I tried to sew with it, so I gotta take it in for servicing. But Karen was very generous in sending these masks to me. I have purchased masks on the internet as well, and it's really what I use when I go out all the time. I don't see that stopping anytime soon, and I do have a nice set of masks to be able to rotate and use when I go out, which is not often. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not planning to really go out in the way that I used to, even after all the sheltering in place and orders are lifted. I still will have to be very cautious until there's a vaccine. I feel the need to be extremely cautious because of my medical condition. So wearing masks for me is really important. Next, last acquisition. I was watching an Instagram live. By Cookie and Bees. I happened to pop in, and she was talking about some of her products, and here's her card. Cookie and Bees. And I went to her shop while the live was going on, and I purchased these little yarn ball sacks. So I love chickens, and this one is made with chicken fabric, and you just, you ball up your cake and you put it in here. It's kind of like those sleeves that you find, but what I liked about this one is that it also has a bottom, and so your yarn is very protected. So I bought the chicken one, and then I bought this really, really adorable sock monkey one. Isn't that cute? I love sock monkeys. My husband gave my daughter, for her first Valentine, a sock monkey. So I always have such a connection with sock monkeys because of that. And again, it has the bottom down here. So about 2. And I'm sure I'll be using them soon, because I tend to be a center pull person, and so I like my cakes to stay together. So basically, that wraps up this episode. I am so happy that you popped in to join me. I know it's going to be a long one, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful to returning viewers. I am extremely grateful to new subscribers. I try my hardest to provide content that I think you will enjoy. And so with that, I say I am Crochet Luna on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook. My soon to be up website will be Crochet Luna. Feel free to contact me on the various platforms if you have any questions for me. I'm here to help. I'm here for you. So crochet on. Have a good summer. Learn and grow. We're in this together. And I will see you next time. Bye.